Hi, I'm Nick Fredericks, and welcome to another installment of FlyPaper Academy. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the PlanScan timeline interface and how you can leverage all of the features that it has to perform your job in the most optimal way. So, we're looking at the timeline here inside of PlanScan. This is where after you do a pull planning session and then you have scanned all of your sticky notes, all of those dates that we have now scanned with the scanner will be applied to all of your activities, and now your activities will be shown on this nice timeline here. With this timeline, you get the full bar of the activities so that you can really see kind of where activities start and end. When you hover over these activities, you can see some additional information about them. So their start and end dates. The last date there at the bottom of this tooltip is actually the last time that activity was scanned. So you can kind of have a quick reference to that. And the blue icon at the top of this one is just indicating that this is an activity that is in progress. So those icons, you can see a few of them here. This one is red. That is one that needs to be reviewed. So that's an activity that ends today, and needs to be reviewed because it has not been marked as complete yet, even though its end date is today or in the past. So that is typically why something would have that red icon on this timeline. And it's just asking, the person that has the ability to mark this activity as complete to go in here and review it to see, hey, is that activity actually complete or not? You can also see, I just clicked on the timeline and it brought up this card, which has all of the extra information about this activity. You can click the little down arrow down there and it will give you even more information about it. You can see their predecessors. If the activity was brought in from P6, you will also see the origin of that activity as well right here. And that's what this show more and show less button does here in the card. You can also see the full history of this activity. So when was this activity scanned? What changed on what day? Things like that as well, right in this card here. I'm just going to hit close on that now and talk about a few more little things about the timeline. So one thing is I'm currently looking at a 2-week date window. You can see that here at the top. It says that my date window is set to 2 weeks. That's the default. So you're looking at 2 weeks in this timeline. And if you use these scroll forward or scroll backward buttons here, that will move the timeline by 1 week at a time. So essentially half of what your date window is. You can change your date window to as many weeks as you want. So if I want to look at 4 weeks at a time, I can do that. And now I am looking at 4 weeks here. Like I said, you can navigate using these scroll forward, scroll backwards. You can also have this today button, which just centers you on today. And you can always know what day is today by this orange triangle that's here at the top. That is always indicating what is the current day and time. You can zoom this timeline as well by using this horizontal or this vertical scroll bar over here. And you can also grab this circle down here and just drag left and right to move the timeline forward and back as well. Or you can kind of see that the months are shown here on this. So you can just click on one. You can say, hey, I actually want to go back and look at May. So now I go right back to May here. And then you can easily click on the today button again, and it'll bring you right back to what we're currently working on in the project. Another thing to note is when you scroll down here, you can see that I'm currently on the timeline tab. And what that tab does is as you're scrolling and moving around in the timeline, this list will just be a list of all of the activities that you can currently see on the timeline. So this list is always being filtered. So if I move forward or backwards, it's going to change the activities that are shown in this list down here. So if I open these up, you can kind of see all of their extra information. You can also use this list view here. You can switch to that, so you can do a quick scan of these things and see all of their extra information in a list form if you want to. This activities tab here is actually all of the activities in the project. So this one is not being filtered by what you're currently looking at in this timeline, whereas that's what is happening inside of this timeline tab. Is it's always being filtered by what is shown on this timeline at any point in time. Some other things that you can do down here as well is you can change the group by. So by default, the timeline is grouped by company, so you can kind of see the headers here. We alternate the colors of the rows by each one of those groupings. So you can see like this one is Bart and Mallow. Everything within this white section is all going to be Bart and Mallow related activities. And then we go into a gray bar here, and that is Coretti Masonry. So all of their activities would show up within that row. But you can change the group by as well. One of the most powerful ones as far as pool planning is concerned is the group by area. So if I click on that, you can see a few things have changed down here in the timeline tab. You can see my expansion panels have all changed to area names. So now I can just see activities that are a part of the site area. Those are all grouped together down here as well. And you can keep looking at all the other areas down here. And the same thing is true for the timeline above. So if we take a look at this, you can see that now our headers here on the left-hand side are our area names. So if you've got multiple trades working in the same area and you really want to just kind of focus on that, you can group by area, and you can quickly look at all the activities that are happening in the same area right in the timeline. Another way to do that is also by using our filters. So I'm going to change our grouping back to by company, and then I'm going to come up here and click on our filter bar up here. So this is a super powerful feature that allows you to quickly and easily filter out and look at different things in your timeline here. So I can go here and I can say, hey, I want to actually just filter everything by area and rather than grouping by area. And so I clicked on area, and now I get three options. I get a not equals to, I get a equals to, and I get a contains operator. So in this case, if I wanted to filter myself down to a specific area, I would choose equals. So area equals, and then I'm just going to choose addition reno here. So when I do that, you can see that my list here or my timeline here has been filtered down to just activities that are in the addition/reno area. And that's super useful for you to just be able to focus on a specific area or a specific group of activities. And you can keep adding more filters on top of this one, and they will add on top of each other as and operators. So essentially, if I was to say area, and I also want to only show the activities that are for Coretti Masonry, I can do that, and I will end up with just one activity. I'm just going to change my zoom here, and now I can see that I really only have one activity here. And you can also see that down here in the list of activities and on the timeline tab, you can see that now I only have one activity there. So I can remove each individual one if I want to, or I can remove all of my filters by clicking on the X over here as well. So that will remove all of them. So now I'm looking at all of my activities again within this 4-week date window. As you're using the filters, we are saving any of your filters that you've applied in the past, and that's what this button is here. If you click on it, you can see that those couple of different queries that I made, they're saved here. So the last 10 of your filter queries are saved as recent queries here. And then you do have the ability to star them and add them as a favorite if you want to. So if you're always applying the same filter to your timeline, you can just star that. So it adds it to your saved queries. So it's always there, right there on the top whenever you come to PlanScan. One other thing about filters is that if you do apply one, when you come back to PlanScan, if you haven't cleared it yet, when you refresh, we reapply that filter automatically for you. So if you've applied a filter that you want to stay there at all times, then just never remove it. And essentially every time you come back to PlanScan, you will see it will be automatically filtered by that last filter. If you do clear it and then you refresh, then there will not be any filters applied when you come back to PlanScan. But you can easily get them back by jumping into your saved queries or your recent queries here as well, or building out another filter query if you want to. One last thing to point out as well is that there is a full screen mode for the timeline, and that's this button right here. And if I click on that, you can see that it will bring me to that same 4-week date window that I was looking at before. I still have the ability to change my filters up here, and I just get a bigger view of my timeline so that I can see everything kind of all at once. And you can still click on everything and access the actual data about those activities as well, right inside of here as well. So I'm just going to close out of that. And I think that takes me through all of what the timeline has to offer inside of the PlanScan interface. It is just a very powerful way for you to take what you've already put on a pull planning board with physical sticky notes, bring it in, and after you do a scan, you get all that information back into the timeline automatically for you, and then you can really slice and dice up that pull planning board in a lot of different ways for you to be able to verify that your schedule makes sense, or just kind of dig deeper into a specific area or a specific contractor that's working on something. So that's it. That's the timeline inside of PlanScan. And I hope you have a good day. Thanks.